Listen carefully, because this may be the most important truth you ever hear. Nothing extraordinary is built without pain. Not emotional pain, not physical pain, not the discomfort of discipline, all of it. If you want power, if you want self-respect, if you want a life that means something, you must stop running from discomfort and start choosing it on purpose. The people you admire are not lucky, they are forged. They paid with sacrifice, with consistency, with doing what most people avoid. This audiobook will teach you how to do the same. If you want power, you must earn it. And pain is the price. Chapter 1. Stop escaping discomfort. Your life is being shaped by the things you avoid, not the things you face, not the things you conquer, the things you escape from. Every time you choose the easy path, every time you run from discomfort, every time you avoid what challenges you, you train yourself to be weaker. You may not realize it, but you are being conditioned by your choices. And today, I need you to understand a truth that will follow you for the rest of your life. Every escape makes you smaller. Say it again with me and hear it in your mind. Every escape makes you smaller. You escape the cold. You escape silence. You escape boredom. You escape responsibility. You escape difficult conversations. You escape the gym. You escape the work that requires your full attention. And every time you escape, you shrink, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You have a choice. Stay with comfort and decay, or sit with discomfort and grow. That's the key. Because your life is not defined by what feels good in the moment. Your life is defined by what you repeatedly choose when things get uncomfortable. Comfort feels good now, but discomfort builds the person who wins later. And if you want to win in life, if you want to build strength, character, resilience, and power, you must stop escaping discomfort and start walking into it with intention. The modern comfort trap. We live in a world designed to make you soft. Everything is instant. Everything is convenient. Everything is built to give you the reward without the effort. You want entertainment? One tap. You want food? Delivered to your door in minutes. You want validation? Post a picture. You want connection? Swipe. You don't even need to step outside your home anymore. You don't even need to struggle. The world has removed friction, removed challenges, removed effort. And in the process, it has removed the very things that make you capable, confident, and powerful. The modern world offers you comfort as a drug. And most people are hooked, addicted, dependent. And the addiction is subtle because it feels harmless. Netflix doesn't feel like destruction. Scrolling doesn't feel like self-betrayal. Choosing the couch over the gym doesn't feel like weakness. But it is. Comfort is silently training you to avoid life. That is the danger. That is the trap. You think you are relaxing. You think you are taking it easy. You think you'll start tomorrow. But comfort is robbing you of the exact qualities you need to build a meaningful life. Because every time you escape discomfort, you become less capable of facing reality. And remember, every escape makes you smaller. Discomfort is a teacher. Discomfort is not the enemy. Discomfort is the teacher. Discomfort is the trainer. Discomfort is the sculptor of strength. Think about the times in your life where you grew the most. Were they easy? Were they comfortable? Or did they stretch you, challenge you, force you to evolve? Discomfort pushes you to find solutions. Discomfort teaches you patience. Discomfort builds self-respect. Because when you face discomfort instead of running from it, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You build evidence. You build identity. You build inner power. You don't need anyone's permission to change your life. All you need is the willingness to face the things you've been avoiding. What avoidance does to you? Avoidance comes with a cost. And the cost is self-trust. Every time you avoid what you know you should do, you lose trust in yourself. You weaken the relationship you have with your own mind. You tell yourself, I can't handle this. And eventually you start believing it. Avoid the gym and your body weakens. Avoid difficult conversations and your relationships rot. Avoid responsibility and your life becomes chaos. Avoid your dreams and your soul becomes heavy with regret. Avoidance may protect you from discomfort in the short term, but it destroys your life in the long term. And that is the trade most people make. A lifetime of mediocrity in exchange for a few moments of comfort. You have a choice. Shrink or expand. escape or evolve. The core law of growth. Here is the law that will separate the weak from the powerful. Comfort feels good now, but discomfort builds the person who wins later. Tattoo that into your mind. Repeat it until it becomes instinct. Because the moment you fully accept this law, your entire life changes. Growth comes from discomfort. Strength comes from discomfort. Self-respect comes from discomfort. Discomfort is the path. Discomfort is the price. Discomfort is the requirement. No one builds power in comfort. No one becomes disciplined by doing what's easy. No one becomes unstoppable by avoiding resistance. The life you want is on the other side of everything you are avoiding. Start by stopping the escape. Before you try to add discipline, add routines, or add habits, you must first stop escaping. Stop escaping silence, sit with your thoughts. Stop escaping boredom, use it to create. Stop escaping effort, lean into it and finish. You don't need to climb a mountain today. You just need to stop running from the hill in front of you. It starts small. The cold shower. The workout when you don't feel like it. The difficult conversation you've been avoiding. The 1 hour of focused work with no distractions. These are not random tasks. These are training reps for the mind. Every time you choose discomfort, you get stronger. Every time you escape, you get smaller. And we're done with small. You have a choice. This chapter is your wake-up call. Not to do more, but to stop running. From now on, when discomfort shows up, recognize it as the doorway to growth. Not a signal to escape. Not a sign to retreat. But an invitation to become the person you are capable of being. Say it with me, every escape makes me smaller. I choose growth. This is the foundation of everything that comes next. Before you learn how to choose hard on purpose, before you learn discipline, identity, power, resilience, you must first stop escaping the very experiences that build those traits. Discomfort is not the villain. Discomfort is the path. And if you want a powerful life, you must stop running from the only thing that creates it. You mastered awareness. Now it's time to weaponize it. Chapter 2. Choose hard on purpose. If you want to grow, you can't wait for life to force you into discomfort. You can't rely on adversity to happen so that you become stronger. Growth doesn't work like that. Real growth is intentional. Real growth is chosen. Real growth is built on doing what is hard, on purpose. The people you admire aren't lucky. They didn't stumble into strength. They chose the harder path long before they ever looked successful. They chose challenge before challenge chose them. And that's the mindset that separates the powerful from the average. They don't wait for life to test them, they test themselves. You have a choice. Avoid hard or choose hard. Wait for life to hit you or hit life first. That's the key. Because every time you choose the harder path, you take control of your evolution. You stop being a passive participant in your life, and you become the architect of your power. The weak wait for motivation. The strong create friction on purpose. And that friction is where change is born. Let this line echo in your mind because it's the anchor of this chapter. If it's hard, it's a signal to do it, not avoid it. Why you must choose hard before hard chooses you. Life will test you eventually. Pain is guaranteed. Challenge is guaranteed. Loss, failure, fear, adversity, none of this is optional. But here's the difference. When you choose hard before life forces it on you, you're prepared. You're conditioned. You're built for it. When you wait, you break. Think of your mind like a muscle. If you never train it, the first real challenge snaps you in half. But if you intentionally put yourself through discomfort every day, you develop resilience, grit, and internal armor. You don't need anyone's permission to become stronger. You just need to stop avoiding the very moments that can make you stronger. Choosing hard on purpose is how you stay ahead of life. The power of voluntary friction. Every form of strength in this world, from the gym to business to leadership to relationships, comes from voluntary friction. Voluntary friction means you put yourself under pressure intentionally so you grow beyond your current capacity. You introduce resistance into your life because you understand that resistance is the stimulus for evolution. Let's break this down with training analogies. Muscles don't grow without resistance. You don't lift a weight once and get stronger. You don't lift a light weight and transform your body. Muscle only grows when it's pushed to its limit, When it tears, rebuilds, and adapts. Pain, pressure, repetition. That's the formula for physical strength. And your mind is no different. If you always choose the lightweight in life, the easy task, the comfortable route, the familiar pattern, you never grow. Your character stays weak because it never feels the weight of challenge. If it's hard, it's a signal to do it, not avoid it. Cold exposure, choosing the shock. Cold exposure is the perfect metaphor for choosing hard. No one feels like stepping into a cold shower or an ice bath. That's the point. It's the voluntary shock, the chosen discomfort that builds mental discipline. Why do people do it? Because they train themselves to override emotion with decision. They train the mind to act, not react. They practice being uncomfortable so discomfort loses power over them in real life. The cold teaches you that you can feel intense discomfort and still remain in control. That skill transfers everywhere. Public speaking, voluntary vulnerability. Public speaking is one of the most feared experiences in the world. Not because it's dangerous, but because it exposes you. It challenges your ego. It forces you to stand in discomfort while others watch. That is voluntary friction. And those who step into that stage, over and over again, develop an unshakable confidence that people who avoid discomfort will never touch. While others hide, the brave grow. The difference between reactionary growth and chosen growth. Most people only grow when they're forced to. They lose someone they love. They hit rock bottom. They face consequences they could have avoided. They wait until life is on fire before they decide to change. That's reactionary growth. Painful, slow, traumatic. Chosen growth is different. Chosen growth is proactive. It's intentional, strategic. Reactionary growth says, life broke me, now I have to rebuild. Chosen growth says, I will build myself before life gets the chance to break me. Which one sounds more powerful? The identity shift of choosing hard. When you start choosing discomfort on purpose, something powerful happens. You stop seeing yourself as fragile. You stop identifying as someone who can't. You start building proof that you are capable, resilient, and disciplined. It shifts your self-image. Instead of saying, I hope I can handle it if something goes wrong, you say, whatever comes, I'm built for it. Why? Because you trained for it. You showed up for yourself before life pressured you to. That is how self-trust is built. That is how inner strength is built. Every time you choose the harder path, you reinforce the identity of someone who does what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable. If it's hard, it's a signal to do it, not avoid it. How to practice choosing hard on purpose. Don't overcomplicate this. Start with small, daily decisions that create voluntary friction. Choose the stairs instead of the elevator. Choose to finish the task instead of procrastinating. Choose the workout instead of excuses. Choose the harder conversation, the honest one. Choose to wake up when you said you would. Choose to eat clean when cravings tempt you. These are reps, mental reps, identity reps. You don't become powerful by doing something big once. You become powerful by repeatedly choosing the harder option until it becomes normal. Soon hard becomes your default, and easy becomes uncomfortable. That's when you know your identity has evolved. Remember this. If it's hard to do, that's exactly why you must do it. If it scares you, that's the direction you walk. If you feel resistance, that's the training ground. Hard is the compass. Hard is the signal. If it's hard, it's a signal to do it, not avoid it. Say it again. Let it sink into your identity. If it's hard, it's a signal to do it, not avoid it. Choosing hard on purpose is not punishment. It's preparation. It's how you build a life you are proud of. It's how you become someone you respect. And most importantly, it's how you take control of your growth. Because discomfort is coming either way. The difference is whether it weakens you or strengthens you. When you choose it, it strengthens you. When you avoid it, it destroys you. You took the first step by stopping the escape. Now you've learned to choose the harder path. Next, we build the identity behind the actions. Chapter 3, The Discipline Identity. Most people fail at discipline because they treat it like a task on a checklist. Something they do only when they feel motivated. Something they try for a week, then abandon the moment life gets uncomfortable. That version of discipline has an expiration date. It dies the second your mood changes. It collapses the moment challenges show up. Why? Because discipline cannot survive as a task. It must live as your identity. Discipline fails when you treat it as something you do. Discipline becomes unstoppable when it becomes who you are. Say this out loud because it's the foundation of your transformation. Discipline is not what you do. Discipline is who you are becoming. The identity problem. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They set goals, but their identity doesn't match the version of themselves who can achieve them. A person who identifies as inconsistent will always quit. A person who identifies as lazy will always find excuses. A person who identifies as undisciplined can never hold discipline for long. Your identity is the thermostat of your life. You can will yourself to act disciplined for a short period of time, but you will always return to the level you believe you are. If you want to change your life permanently, you must change your identity first. This is identity-based transformation, and it begins with a single sentence. I am the type of person who. Those 7 words reshape your self-image. They rewrite your pattern. They program your brain to align with the version of you that you want to become. I am the type of person who keeps promises to myself. I am the type of person who finishes what I start. I am the type of person who does the work even when I don't feel like it. These are not affirmations. They are identity commands. And when repeated with action, they form a new self-concept. Because discipline is not a behavior, it is a belief system about who you are. Why you can't rely on motivation. Motivation is emotional. Motivation is unstable. Motivation is unreliable. If your discipline is built on motivation, your life will constantly swing between on track and falling apart. Discipline built on identity is consistent. Discipline built on identity doesn't care about feelings. Discipline built on identity is automatic. Remember this, motivation moves you occasionally. Identity moves you permanently. This is the difference between an amateur and a professional life. Amateurs act when it's convenient. Professionals act because it's who they are. The 3 levels of discipline. There are 3 levels of behavior. Level 1. Task-based discipline. You force yourself to complete tasks. It's exhausting. Every action feels like a battle. You succeed only when everything goes right. Level 2. Habit-based discipline. You create routines and habits. Better, but habits can break when life disrupts them. Level 3. Identity-based discipline. You act with discipline because it is who you are. Even when tired. Even when stressed. Even when nobody sees it. This is the level of transformation. Identity-based discipline cannot be taken from you. You don't think about it. You don't negotiate with it. It becomes your default operating system. Discipline is not what you do. Discipline is who you are becoming. Evidence creates identity. Identity is not built by thinking differently. It is built by proving yourself right through action. Every time you act in alignment with the identity you want, you cast a vote for that identity. Woke up with your alarm? Vote for I am disciplined. Chose the workout instead of excuses? Vote for I am disciplined. Completed the hard task first? Vote for I am disciplined. You don't need perfection. You just need enough votes to shift the balance. With every vote, the old identity gets weaker. With every vote, the new identity takes root. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are becoming disciplined. Stop saying what you used to be. Many people keep themselves trapped with the words they repeat about themselves. I'm just not disciplined. I always quit. I never stick with things. I'm not a morning person. These statements are a prison. You speak your limitations and then you live inside them. If you want a new life, stop repeating the script of your old one. Replace the identity statement. Change the narrative. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, speak the identity you want to grow into. Identity leads. Belief follows. Action confirms. Discipline is not what you do. Discipline is who you are becoming. The shift from forcing to being. The most powerful transformation is when discipline stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like your standard. Because standards eliminate negotiations. Standards eliminate excuses. Standards eliminate the need to feel like it. When something is part of your identity, you don't debate it. You don't justify it. You simply live it. A disciplined person doesn't try to stay consistent. They just are. A disciplined person doesn't try to keep promises. They just do. A disciplined person doesn't wait for motivation. They move because it's who they are. This is the goal of this chapter, to shift you from forcing discipline to embodying discipline. Identity statements to adopt. Right now, choose one new identity statement. Speak it, repeat it, write it. Here are a few to choose from. I am the type of person who follows through. I am the type of person who honors my word. I am the type of person who shows up regardless of how I feel. Say it slowly. Let it attach to your self-image. Because once the identity changes, the behavior becomes natural. Remember this. Discipline is not a one-time effort. Discipline is not a trial period. Discipline is not a phase. Discipline is your identity. When you act from identity, discipline becomes effortless. When you act from identity, consistency becomes natural. When you act from identity, success becomes inevitable. Say it again so it locks into your mind. Discipline is not what you do. Discipline is who you are becoming. And every decision from this moment forward is a vote for the identity you want to build. You've learned to stop escaping. You've learned to choose hard on purpose. Now you've begun to embody discipline as your identity. Next, we expose the silent killer of growth. The thing most people don't even notice is weakening them. Chapter 4. Comfort is the enemy of excellence. Comfort looks harmless. It looks relaxing. It looks peaceful. But comfort has a cost so high most people never recover from it. Not today. Not tomorrow. But slowly, silently, year after year, comfort erodes your edge, your hunger, your pride, and your potential. Comfort doesn't destroy you instantly. It weakens you quietly. That's why it's dangerous. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. You don't notice the damage at first. You think you're taking it easy. You think you're being kind to yourself. You think you're avoiding stress. But one day you wake up realizing something is missing. Your ambition has faded. Your resilience is gone. Your potential is wasted. Comfort didn't protect you. Comfort betrayed you. The slow decay of a comfortable life. Comfort drains you in 4 deadly ways. It kills your edge, your resilience, your ambition, and your self-respect. Let's break them down. 1. Comfort kills your edge. Your edge is the sharpness of your character. The part of you that takes initiative, pushes forward, and refuses to settle. When you live in comfort, that edge dulls. People who once had fire in their eyes lose it because comfort sedates them. No urgency. No hunger. No drive. Comfort convinces you that you're fine. And the moment you believe you're fine, you stop striving for better. Greatness requires an edge. Comfort sands that edge down until you barely recognize yourself. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. 2. Comfort weakens your resilience. Resilience is built through adversity, challenge, and struggle. When life is too comfortable, you lose the ability to handle difficulty. A minor inconvenience feels overwhelming. A small setback feels like a crisis. Any resistance makes you quit. You become emotionally fragile because you haven't trained for discomfort. Comfort creates softness, not peace. The truth is, if you never struggle on purpose, you won't survive struggle when it arrives without warning. And it will arrive. Comfort doesn't prepare you for life. It leaves you unprepared for it. 3. Comfort shrinks your ambition. Comfort tells you, you've done enough. You're already better than others. You don't need to improve. But ambition is the belief that you're capable of more. That you're not finished. That there is still greater in you. Comfort suffocates that belief. It convinces you to settle. To stop chasing. To stop dreaming. Ambition needs discomfort to stay alive. Without progress, desire fades. Comfort doesn't just make you lose. It makes you stop wanting to win. For comfort destroys your pride. Not the ego-driven pride that seeks attention, but the sacred, internal pride that comes from knowing you earned your life. The proudest people are not the ones with trophies, accomplishments, or status. They are the ones who know they fought for their life, built their character, and resisted the easy path. Comfort steals that pride away. Because deep down, you know when you've taken the easy route. Even if others praise you, you don't respect yourself. And without self-respect, success feels empty. The talent trap, when potential is wasted by comfort. We've all known someone with talent. Someone who had natural gifts. Someone who could have gone far, but didn't. Maybe it was the athlete who dominated in high school, but never trained again once praise came easily. Maybe it was the musician or artist who had rare talent, but never developed the discipline to master their craft. Maybe it was the student who excelled without trying, and never learned how to work hard. Talent without discomfort becomes a curse. Because when things come easy, you never learn to fight. There is nothing more tragic than a talented person who never achieves excellence because they chose comfort over growth. They were praised early. They felt special early. They got results without effort. And instead of sharpening their skill, instead of training harder, instead of leaning into discomfort, they coasted. And comfort ate them alive. You must understand this. Not reaching your potential is not failure. Wasting your potential because you avoided discomfort is the true failure. Comfort doesn't just make you lose. Comfort makes you less than what you could have been. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. The illusion of good enough. Comfort sells you a lie. If you're doing better than average, you're doing great. But excellence has nothing to do with comparison. Excellence is about honoring your capability, not outperforming others. You weren't born to be slightly above average. You weren't born to live a good enough life. Deep down, you know this. There is a voice inside you that wants more. Not more comfort, more purpose. More impact. More growth. The voice fades when comfort gets loud. The price you pay for comfort. Comfort has a hidden price, and it's paid in 3 currencies. Lost opportunities, the doors that never open because you never developed the capacity to walk through them. Lost time, the years you can't get back after living in neutral. Lost identity, becoming someone you don't admire. Comfort doesn't cost you today. Comfort costs you your future. And the longer you stay comfortable, the harder it becomes to escape. Comfort becomes a lifestyle, a personality, a prison. Why excellence requires discomfort. Excellence demands intensity. It demands hunger. It demands standards. And standards require discomfort. Nobody builds greatness while relaxed. Nobody creates legacy while comfortable. Nobody becomes a leader by choosing what is easy. Excellence is earned through sacrifice, discipline, and intention. It requires you to do more than what is required. It requires you to expand beyond who you currently are. Comfort keeps you the same. Discomfort evolves you. Which one do you think leads to a life worth living? Remember this. Comfort is not peace. Comfort is not happiness. Comfort is slow self-destruction disguised as rest. Comfort doesn't care about your future. Comfort only cares about your feelings right now. But you are not living for right now. You are building a life for all the years ahead of you. Say it again and let it tattoo itself into your mind. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. You cannot afford to live a comfortable life if you want a meaningful one. Excellence demands discomfort. Achievement demands discomfort. Self-respect demands discomfort. You've seen the trap. Now it's time to set the standard that replaces comfort. You stopped escaping. You learned to choose hard. You began building a disciplined identity. You now understand comfort is the enemy you must defeat. So what replaces it? Chapter 5. You don't need motivation, you need standards. Most people fail not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they depend on motivation. They wait to feel like it. They wait for inspiration. They wait for the perfect moment. And while they wait, their life slips away. Motivation is emotional. Motivation is unpredictable. Motivation disappears the moment life becomes inconvenient. If your actions depend on motivation, your results will always be inconsistent. Hear this clearly. You don't need motivation. You need standards. Standards turn action into a non-negotiable. Standards remove the emotional debate. Standards tell your mind, this is what we do. Period. That's the key. When you build self-imposed standards, discipline becomes automatic. You don't act because you feel good. You act because it is who you are. And that is how powerful lives are built. Say this out loud. Standards over mood. Standards over feelings. Why motivation will never save you. Motivation is a temporary spark. It gets you started, but it cannot carry you through the grind. It cannot carry you through setbacks. It cannot carry you through months of invisible progress. If you only show up when you're motivated, you'll quit 90% of the time. Motivation says, I'll do it when I feel ready. Standards say, I'll do it because it must be done. Motivation is a mood. Standards are a promise. Motivation disappears when life gets stressful. Standards become even more crucial when life gets stressful. Motivation is what amateurs rely on. Standards are what professionals build their lives on. Say it again, standards over mood. Standards over feelings. The amateur versus the pro. There is a difference between amateurs and pros, and it has nothing to do with talent. Amateurs act when they feel like it. If they're tired, they skip it. If they're not inspired, they delay it. If it's uncomfortable, they avoid it. They let their emotions negotiate their actions. And emotions will always choose comfort. Pros act because action is required. They show up tired. They show up uninspired. They show up when nobody is watching. They don't need motivation. They have standards. It's not a decision they make daily, it's already decided. A pro doesn't ask, do I want to do this today? A pro says, this is what I do. Working out is not a task, it's part of their identity. Execution is not optional, it's their baseline. They don't need hype to start. They start because that's the standard. Amateurs chase feelings. Pros chase results. And the reason pros win is simple: standards over mood. Standards over feelings. The power of non-negotiables. A standard is a non-negotiable rule you set for yourself, not based on emotion, not based on convenience, but based on who you are committed to becoming. A standard is, I train 4 days a week. No excuses. I wake up when the alarm rings. Not after. I keep promises to myself. Always. Standards don't bend when you're tired. Standards don't change because you don't feel motivated. Standards are your internal law. When you live by standards, your mind stops fighting you. The emotional resistance fades because there is no decision to make. The standard decides. You don't ask yourself if you feel like doing it. You remind yourself, this is the standard. This is who I am. The real reason most people don't have standards. Standards require self-respect. Standards require accountability. Standards require you to hold yourself to a higher level than the world requires. Most people won't set standards because they are afraid they won't meet them. They would rather set low expectations to avoid disappointment. But low expectations lead to low effort. And low effort leads to a low-quality life. If you want an extraordinary life, you must demand more from yourself than the world demands from you. High standards create high performance. Low standards create regret. You have a choice: live by your feelings or live by your standards. How standards build self-trust. Every time you meet your own standards, you build trust with yourself. Every time you break your standards, you weaken that trust. Self-trust is the foundation of self-respect. Self-respect is the foundation of self-confidence. Self-confidence is the foundation of success. People think confidence comes from achievements. It doesn't. Confidence comes from keeping your word to yourself. When you live by standards, you create proof, daily, that you are someone who follows through. Someone who is reliable. Someone who is becoming powerful. When you rely on motivation, you create proof that you quit when it's inconvenient. Which identity do you want? The identity of someone who stops when it's hard? Or the identity of someone who acts because it's required? Say it again so your brain locks onto it. Standards over mood. Standards over feelings. Start with one standard. You don't need 10 standards today. You need one standard that begins shifting your identity. Pick one non-negotiable to implement for the next 7 days. To wake up at the same time daily, train for 20 minutes no matter what, read 10 pages a day, work 1 uninterrupted hour on your goals. No phone for the first hour of your morning. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. You are proving to yourself that you can live by a standard, not a mood. Once one standard holds, add another. Then another. Not to do more, but to be more. This is identity at work. The language of standards. Here's how people with standards speak. Not, I'll try, but I will. Not, I hope I stay consistent, but consistency is my standard. Not, I'll see if I have time, but I make time. This is the standard. Speak with conviction. Speak with finality. Speak with identity. Because when you speak with uncertainty, you act with uncertainty. When you speak with commitment, you act with commitment. Remember this. Motivation is not the problem. Your dependence on motivation is the problem. You cannot build a powerful life on feelings. You must build it on standards. When standards rise, your life rises. When standards drop, your life follows. Say it one more time with force. Standards over mood. Standards over feelings. You don't need motivation when you've already decided who you are. You now understand that excellence requires standards, not inspiration. Now it's time to learn how to convert pain into your greatest advantage. Chapter 6. Turn pain into fuel. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a signal. Pain is a teacher. Pain is a messenger that tells you growth is happening. You were raised to believe pain means stop, quit, retreat. But if you want power, if you want transformation, you must train your mind to see pain differently. The truth is simple. Pain is progress in disguise. You don't grow despite the pain, you grow because of it. Repeat this to yourself as we begin. If it hurts, it's working. Most people treat pain as proof they're failing. You are about to learn how to make pain your proof that you're evolving. You will learn how to turn pain into fuel. The reframe: pain is proof of evolution. Everything that grows experiences stress. Muscles tear before they strengthen. Confidence shakes before it stabilizes. Skills feel awkward before they feel natural. You cannot evolve without friction. Pain is not the problem. Your meaning of pain is the problem. When you feel discomfort, your old identity is being challenged. Your habits are being rewired. The weaker version of you is dying so a stronger version can be born. That process hurts. That process is supposed to hurt. Because you're shedding who you used to be. So the next time your mind says, "This hurts," stop. You must replace it with, "If it hurts, it's working." The pain-proof power loop. Here is the mental loop that will turn pain into fuel. Step 1. Pain, you feel discomfort. You feel resistance. Step 2. Proof, you tell yourself, "This sensation is proof I'm growing." Step 3. Power, you gain confidence and strength from enduring the pain with intention. This is the pain-proof power loop. Most people stop at step 1. They feel pain and run. They never reach proof. They never reach power. Their potential stays locked because they quit too early. But not you. Not anymore. When you repeat this loop enough times, pain becomes energizing. You will start seeking challenges instead of avoiding them because you understand the reward on the other side. Say it so your brain records it. Pain equals proof. Proof becomes power. Pain without meaning destroys you. Pain with meaning builds you. Pain by itself does nothing. Pain with purpose transforms everything. The gym is a perfect example. Two people feel the same burning sensation in their muscles. One quits because it hurts. One smiles because it hurts. The pain is identical. The meaning is not. When you attach a powerful meaning to your pain, it stops being suffering and becomes self-investment. You're not hurting for nothing. You're hurting for something. You're hurting for who you are becoming. If you are struggling right now, tell yourself, "This isn't happening to break me. It's happening to build me." And again, if it hurts, it's working. The shift, from fearing pain to using pain. Weak people avoid pain and stay weak. Strong people use pain and get stronger. The moment you stop resisting discomfort and start using it as fuel, you become unstoppable. Because most of the world is looking for the easy road. And there is no competition on the hard road. Pain creates separation. Pain creates identity. Pain creates proof that you are doing the work others refuse to do. When you choose struggle voluntarily, you learn to control your response to life. You choose the pain that grows you so you become resilient against the pain life throws at you. This is why the strongest people aren't numb to pain, they are fluent in it. Examples, where pain becomes power. Physical pain, training your body, pushing for the extra rep, the last kilometer, the early morning workout. Your body screams because it's adapting. If it hurts, it's working. Mental pain. Studying when you're tired, learning new skills, solving difficult problems. Your brain resists because it's forming new pathways. If it hurts, it's working. Emotional pain. Setting boundaries, speaking your truth, letting go of unhealthy relationships. Your heart aches because you're elevating your standards. If it hurts, it's working. Look at any area of your life where you've grown. Pain was there. Growth never came from ease. It came from pressure. The people who avoid pain pay for it later. Avoiding pain now creates a lifetime of regret later. A body never trained becomes a burden. A mind never challenged becomes fragile. A heart never tested becomes weak. The pain you avoid accumulates interest. The pain you face pays dividends. You choose your pain, the pain of discipline now or the pain of weakness later. The pain of growth today or the pain of regret tomorrow. One pain leads to power. One pain leads to self-betrayal. And you already know the rule. If it hurts, it's working. Self-talk. Train your inner dialogue. Pain becomes fuel through language. Your self-talk determines whether pain weakens or strengthens you. Here is the old script most people run. This is too hard. I can't handle this. This shouldn't be happening. Here is the new script you must adopt. This is proof I'm getting stronger. This discomfort is my training ground. I keep going because this is working. Speak to yourself like a warrior in training, not a victim of circumstances. Your inner voice must become your coach, not your critic. Pain is temporary, power is permanent. Pain fades. Always. But the strength you gain from it stays. Always. Think of every hardship you've overcome. At the time, it felt heavy, painful, overwhelming. But you got through it. The pain faded. What remained was resilience, wisdom, strength, and a deeper belief in yourself. You never remember the comfort. You always remember the growth. Comfort leaves you with nothing. Pain leaves you with power. Never forget that. Here is your application. Choose one form of pain today. Not destructive pain, developmental pain. Push your body a little harder. Sit in silence with your thoughts without distraction. Have the uncomfortable conversation you've been avoiding. You do the task that intimidates you. Practice the skill you're bad at but need. And while you do it, repeat the anchor line. If it hurts, it's working. Because repetition rewires belief. Belief rewires identity. Identity shapes destiny. Remember this. Pain is not the obstacle. Pain is the path. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is the process. Pain is the price life charges for power, growth, and self-respect. Stop running. Start using it. From this moment forward, when discomfort appears, you will not retreat. You will recognize it as the signal, the sign, the proof, pain-proof power. You are becoming stronger. You are evolving. You are earning your transformation. Now that you know how to use pain as fuel, it's time to talk about the cost of growth. Because there is always a price. Chapter 7. Choose sacrifice or live with regret. Every life has a cost. No exceptions. Every choice has a price. Every action or inaction requires payment. And you cannot escape it. The question is not if you will pay, it's what you will pay for. You have two options. You can sacrifice for your future, or your future becomes the sacrifice. Say it out loud, you will pay. Choose the price. Most people try to cheat the system. They want success, health, respect, and freedom without paying the cost. They want the rewards without the work. They want the life others earn through pain, discipline, and sacrifice, but they want it delivered in comfort. That's impossible. Life does not bend for laziness. Life does not negotiate with avoidance. Life collects payment. And if you refuse to pay the price consciously, it will collect it unconsciously, and you will pay in regret, lost potential, and wasted years. The true cost of sacrifice. Sacrifice is not glamorous. Sacrifice is not fun. Sacrifice is the quiet, daily work you do when no one is watching. It's waking up early to train when you'd rather sleep. It's choosing to work on your craft instead of scrolling on your phone. It's reading instead of binge-watching another show. It's sitting through hard conversations instead of avoiding discomfort. These small sacrifices feel insignificant day to day. That's why most people skip them. That's why most people remain average. But the compounding effect of these small sacrifices is enormous. Each small sacrifice builds momentum. Each daily choice adds up. Each time you choose growth over comfort, you deposit into the account of your future power. You will pay. Choose the price. The cost of not sacrificing. Now consider the alternative: avoiding sacrifice, skipping the work, choosing comfort over discipline, ignoring the small hard steps today. The cost doesn't disappear. It accumulates. It compounds silently. Years later, you look back and realize you could have been stronger. You could have been wiser. You could have been powerful. Instead, you became comfortable. And comfort has a price: regret, missed opportunity, weakness, stagnation. Life doesn't reward those who avoid the hard work. Life rewards those who pay consistently, consciously, and willingly. You will pay. Choose the price. Small sacrifices compound into power. Sacrifice doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't require grand gestures or heroic acts. True power is built from the small, consistent sacrifices you make every day. Wake up early. Exercise. Focus on work. Read. Meditate. Avoid the temptation to indulge every impulse. Stop procrastinating. Hold yourself accountable. Each small choice might feel meaningless today, but over months and years these choices compound. They separate the average from the extraordinary. The person who sacrifices consistently, even in small ways, accumulates momentum, resilience, and capability. The person who avoids sacrifice accumulates regret, weakness, and missed opportunity. You will pay. Choose the price. Sacrifice builds character and identity. Sacrifice isn't just about outcomes, it's about who you become in the process. Every time you sacrifice for growth, you prove you can endure discomfort. You strengthen your self-trust. You solidify your identity as someone who acts, someone who overcomes, someone who prioritizes long-term fulfillment over short-term ease. Sacrifice shapes character. It defines values. It teaches you resilience. Without sacrifice, you are passive. You drift. You let life decide your story. With sacrifice, you take ownership. You become the author of your destiny. You will pay. Choose the price. Examples of sacrifice and result. Think of elite athletes. They didn't become champions by avoiding early mornings, pain, or relentless training. Every extra lap, every additional rep, every day they stayed committed when others quit. That is the compound interest of sacrifice. Think of successful entrepreneurs. They didn't become leaders by waiting for motivation or comfort. They worked late nights, took risks, endured setbacks, and made countless small sacrifices that compounded into massive results. Think of people who become disciplined, respected, and powerful. They didn't wait for life to force them into sacrifice. They chose it voluntarily, every single day. And that's the lesson. Sacrifice is always required. You can either choose it consciously or pay the price unconsciously. The mindset shift: pay consciously. The most powerful people view life as a ledger. Every decision has a debit and a credit. Every comfort has a cost. Every discomfort has a reward. If you live unconsciously, life assigns your payment. And that payment is regret. If you live consciously, you decide what to pay, and that payment becomes your advantage. You will pay. Choose the price. Practical application: daily sacrifices. Identify a daily discomfort that challenges you, something you normally avoid. Example: waking early, training, tackling difficult work, limiting distractions. Do it consistently, not occasionally, not when you feel like it, daily. Reinforce the meaning. Every time you do it, remind yourself, I am paying today so my future is stronger. I am choosing growth. Track progress. Small sacrifices compound. Document them. See the momentum. Celebrate the consistency, not the comfort. You don't need grand gestures. You need small, consistent choices that are difficult, intentional, and meaningful. You will pay. Choose the price. The consequence of ignoring sacrifice. Refuse to sacrifice and life will enforce its own rules. Health deteriorates. Opportunities vanish. Relationships suffer. Dreams die quietly while you chase comfort. It is merciless. Life doesn't negotiate. Time doesn't stop. And regret doesn't forgive. Sacrifice voluntarily and you shape your destiny. Avoid sacrifice and your future shapes itself, and it won't be kind. The cost is unavoidable. The choice is yours. You will pay. Choose the price. Say it again. Let it anchor into your identity. You will pay. Choose the price. You cannot escape the cost of living. You cannot avoid the discomfort of growth. You cannot have the life you want without paying something for it. This is the law of reality, the law of progress, the law of power. Sacrifice compounds. Comfort destroys. Regret accumulates. Momentum multiplies. Weakness spreads. Strength endures. The choice is simple. The consequences are real. You will pay. Choose the price. Now that you understand sacrifice, the cost of growth, you know that power is built by consistently choosing discomfort over ease. You are learning to embrace pain, make disciplined choices, and pay consciously for your future. But what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is not just enduring pain, not just sacrificing, but facing the hardest things first, every single day. You mastered the cost. Now it's time to master execution. Chapter 8. Build the habit of doing the hard thing first. Your mornings determine your life. Not your mood. Not your motivation. Not luck. The choices you make first thing set the tone for everything else. The question is simple. Do you start with the easy, comfortable, familiar? Or do you start with the hard, the necessary, the uncomfortable? The answer separates average lives from extraordinary lives. And it's time you understand the hard first rule. Do the hardest thing first. Every single day. Repeat this and let it anchor. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. Why the hard first rule works. Discomfort is the fastest teacher of discipline. Action is the fastest teacher of confidence. Doing the hardest task first teaches you 3 critical things. You are capable. The task you feared is no longer controlling you. You controlled it. You build momentum. When the hardest task is done, everything else feels easier. You reinforce identity. You show yourself daily that you are someone who acts, not reacts. The hard first rule is not just a routine. It is an identity-building strategy. It tells your mind, I don't wait. I don't negotiate. I don't avoid. I act first. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. The psychology behind it. Most people start easy. They check their phone. They scroll. They delay the challenge. They hope motivation will arrive. And it never does. When you do the hardest thing first, you bypass resistance. Resistance is strongest before action. You leverage your willpower when it is highest. Morning, rested, focused. You train your brain to take control instead of surrendering to comfort. The first win sets the tone for the entire day. The first action becomes a signal to your subconscious. I am disciplined. I am powerful. I am consistent. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. Examples from high performers. Athletes. Elite athletes wake up early, hit the hardest workout first, and complete the drills that feel most exhausting. The first challenge of the day is the one they fear the most. By the time they finish, everything else feels achievable. Entrepreneurs. Top business leaders start their mornings with the most important, difficult, or high-impact task. They don't check email or social media. They attack the one thing that moves the needle in their life. Writers and creators. They sit down first thing in the morning and write, edit, or create, even when they don't feel inspired. They start with the hardest creative work before checking messages or distractions. The pattern is universal. The hard first approach compounds over time. Each day you win the hardest task first, you build self-trust, confidence, and momentum. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. How to implement the hard first rule. Identify your hardest task the night before. Not the urgent task. Not the convenient one. The task that challenges you, the one you are tempted to avoid, the one that will stretch your limits. Start your day with that task. Before distractions. Before comfort. Before excuses. Commit to completion. Don't quit halfway. Don't rationalize. Don't delay. Finish it no matter what. Track the wins. Each completed hard first task is proof. Proof of discipline. Proof of capability. Proof that your identity aligns with your actions. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. Overcoming resistance. The hardest part of this habit is starting. Resistance will fight tooth and nail to keep you in comfort. You will feel tired, unmotivated, afraid of failure, distracted. All of this is normal. All of this is temporary. You only need to do one thing: start. The first action breaks the spell. Momentum follows. Confidence rises. Identity strengthens. Say it again: win the morning, win the day, win your identity. Anchoring the habit. Habits are formed through repetition, context, and reinforcement. To anchor the hard first habit. Repetition: do it daily without exception. Context: create a morning environment that eliminates distractions. No phone, no social media, no unnecessary tasks. Reinforcement: reward yourself with acknowledgement. Say, I did what others avoided. I acted first. I am powerful. The brain loves patterns. If the first action of your day is hard, your brain learns that discomfort is normal and mastery is expected. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. The compound effect of doing hard first. Doing the hardest task first is not a one-day tactic. It's a compounding strategy. Each day you practice it, your tolerance for difficulty increases. Your procrastination diminishes. Your confidence in your own capabilities grows exponentially. Over weeks, months, and years, the difference between those who do the hard first and those who do the easy first is enormous. The habits compound into identity. Identity compounds into results. Results compound into legacy. The hard first rule is the backbone of self-trust. Every morning you prove to yourself that you act, that you prioritize, that you execute. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. Common pitfalls. Starting too late. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The first action must be immediate upon starting the day. Choosing comfort disguised as productivity. Email, social media, small tasks. These are traps. The hard first task is the one that challenges you the most. Quitting early. Momentum is built by completion. Half-done hard tasks teach nothing. Avoid these pitfalls. The reward is a morning routine that builds power, momentum, and identity. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. Practical examples of hard first tasks. Fitness, the most grueling workout or drill of your plan. Work, the project or assignment that scares you or feels overwhelming. Learning, the skill you avoid because it's difficult, boring, or frustrating. Personal growth, the uncomfortable conversation or habit change you've been postponing. Start here. Build consistency. Watch your life change. Remember this. The first action of your day is a declaration of your identity. It says, I am disciplined. I am capable. I am committed. The second, third, and fourth actions follow the same signal. Momentum is built. Confidence grows. Identity solidifies. Repeat this: win the morning, win the day, win your identity. This is not theory. This is execution. This is power. When you master the hard first rule, you remove hesitation, you build consistency, and you develop self-trust that cannot be shaken by circumstance, mood, or discomfort. You've learned to stop escaping, choose hard, embody discipline, embrace discomfort, pay the price, and turn pain into fuel. Now it's time to scale. Next, we explore multiplying your power through focus and elimination. Chapter 9, The Long Game, Why You're Not Seeing Results Yet. You've been working. You've been sacrificing. You've been showing up every day. And yet, nothing seems to change. Frustration sets in. Doubt creeps in. Motivation wavers. You look around and wonder, why am I still here? Why aren't the results showing? Here's the truth most people never accept. Growth is invisible long before it becomes visible. You are in what I call the Plateau of Patience. It's the space where transformation is happening beneath the surface, but the world hasn't caught up to your effort. This is where most people quit. Most people give up. Most people surrender to comfort. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you understand the law of delayed results. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. The Plateau of Patience. Let me explain the Plateau of Patience. Imagine planting a seed. You water it every day. You fertilize it. You make sure it gets sunlight. But for weeks, nothing appears above the soil. It's easy to feel like you're wasting your time. Most people would give up. Most people see no progress and conclude it's not working. But the seed is growing. It's developing roots. It's building the structure that will eventually sprout into a plant. Growth is happening invisibly. And when the time is right, the visible results explode, and those who quit never see it. Your life works the same way. Every bit of sacrifice, every hard task, every moment you choose discipline over comfort is creating invisible change. Your muscles, mind, habits, and character are adapting long before anyone, including you, can see it. This is why patience is a superpower. The world rewards those who endure the invisible. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. Why most people quit too early. Humans are wired for instant feedback. Social media, notifications, entertainment, they've trained us to expect immediate results. When results don't appear, the brain panics. It says, "This isn't working. Stop. Try something easier." The problem, growth is never linear. Improvement accumulates quietly. Strength compounds slowly. Habits form invisibly. Confidence solidifies gradually. If you quit at the plateau of patience, all your work is wasted. The invisible progress vanishes into nothing because action stops. The secret is to endure the discomfort of unseen growth. To trust that every sacrifice, every hard choice, every painful moment is building something you cannot yet see. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. How to survive the plateau. Shift focus from outcomes to process. Results are delayed. You cannot control timing. What you can control is daily action. Show up, work hard, execute. Trust the process. Track your inputs, not outputs. Success is invisible until it is undeniable. Focus on measurable actions. Hours trained, tasks completed, challenges faced. These are the seeds you plant. Anchor yourself in identity. I am the type of person who shows up. I am disciplined. I act regardless of results. Your identity must remain stronger than your visible progress. Reframe patience as power. Every day you persist on the plateau of patience, you accumulate advantage over those who quit. While they are distracted, comfortable, and impatient, you are quietly building strength, skill, and resilience. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. Real-life examples. Athletes. A sprinter runs drills for months with no noticeable improvement in speed. Most quit. The one who persists suddenly breaks personal records. Years of invisible adaptation explode in visible results. Entrepreneurs. They grind through the early months of low revenue, difficult clients, and constant rejection. Most give up. Those who endure see momentum compound, business scale, and opportunities multiply. Writers and creatives. Drafts pile up. Rejections arrive. Improvement is slow. Most stop. The ones who persist finally produce work that resonates, inspires, and earns recognition. The pattern is universal. Visible success is always delayed. Early results are rare. The plateau of patience is the test of character. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. The psychology of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is uncomfortable. Waiting for results is stressful. The human brain craves immediate reward. This is why comfort and distraction are so seductive. But transformation requires resisting the impulse to quit, to switch paths, or to compromise standards. Growth is never instant. The brain wants instant pleasure. The disciplined person wants long-term excellence. The difference is endurance. The difference is patience. Every day you endure the plateau of patience, you are training your mind to handle discomfort, uncertainty, and delayed reward. This is the essence of resilience. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. How to make the plateau work for you. Visualize the results without obsessing over timing. See the end goal in your mind. But do not attach your mood or motivation to immediate progress. Celebrate invisible wins. A completed hard task. A disciplined choice. A moment of growth. These are all victories even if no one notices. Use repetition as proof. Daily action is the only guarantee of eventual results. Each repetition strengthens habits, skills, and identity. Expect resistance and doubt. The plateau of patience is uncomfortable by design. Embrace it. Lean into it. Know it is a test of your long-term power. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. The long game mindset. The long game is about trust. Trust in the process, trust in your choices, trust in your identity. It is the opposite of chasing short-term gratification. It is the antidote to impatience and distraction. Understand this. Short-term discomfort compounds into long-term power. Invisible progress compounds into visible mastery. Patience compounds into freedom, achievement, and confidence. Your life will never be transformed by occasional effort or bursts of motivation. Transformation comes from consistent action over time. Every day you persist on the plateau of patience, you are creating leverage for the life others only dream of. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. The plateau of patience is not a setback. It is a signal that growth is happening beneath the surface. Visible results lag behind effort. That is the law of progress. That is the long game. Repeat it, let it embed. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. Trust the process. Trust your identity. Trust the invisible work you are doing. The people who quit never understand how close they were to breaking through. The people who persist always arrive. Every repetition, every challenge, every hard choice builds unseen power that eventually bursts into results. Your life is no different. The plateau of patience is testing you. If you endure, if you persist, if you continue while others surrender, you will become the person capable of extraordinary results. Win the invisible battles first. The visible victories will follow. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. Next, we consolidate all these lessons and teach you how to protect your gains and multiply your power consistently. Chapter 10. Become someone you respect. You've learned the rules. You've learned to stop escaping, choose hard, build discipline, embrace discomfort, pay the price, turn pain into fuel, do the hard thing first, and endure the long game. You've seen how results are delayed, and you've survived the invisible growth phase. Now we come to the ultimate lesson, becoming someone you respect. This is the reward no one else can give you. Not money, not praise, not fame. The ultimate reward is the respect you earn from yourself. The trust you develop in your own character, your own choices, your own integrity. Say it out loud, earn your own respect. That is true power. The power of self-respect. Most people chase external markers of success. They seek approval, validation, recognition, or accolades. They measure their worth by how others see them. That's a trap. Because external validation is unreliable, fleeting, and conditional. It can vanish overnight. Self-respect is permanent. Self-respect cannot be taken from you. It cannot be given falsely. It comes from knowing you lived according to your standards, that you did what was hard when it was hard, that you honored your commitments, that you chose growth over comfort. True power is internal, not external. True power is knowing you are someone worth following even when no one is watching. Earn your own respect. That is true power. Transformation is internal, not external. Look at your life. Achievements, money, status, they are all temporary. They can rise and fall. They can be taken away. What lasts is character. What lasts is integrity. What lasts is the person you become through daily choices, daily sacrifices, and daily adherence to your principles. The transformation you're seeking isn't a bigger bank account or a fancier title. It's becoming someone you admire, trust, and respect. When you become that person, external success follows naturally. Not because you chase it, but because your identity attracts it. The daily habits of respectable people. Self-respect is built the same way all power is built. Daily, intentionally, and consistently. Here's how. Keep your word to yourself. Every promise you make to yourself matters. If you say you'll train, work, or act, you do it. No excuses. Each follow-through strengthens self-trust. Face discomfort deliberately. Doing what is hard even when you don't want to proves to yourself that your standards are higher than your feelings. Take ownership of your choices. Stop blaming circumstances, people, or luck. Own every decision, every mistake, every success. Your life is yours, claim it. Prioritize long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Small sacrifices compound. Easy choices stagnate. Long-term thinking builds power, patience, and integrity. Align actions with identity. Act like the person you want to become. Speak like the person you want to respect. Make choices that reinforce who you are becoming, not who you were yesterday. Do these consistently. This is how self-respect is earned. Earn your own respect. That is true power. Pain, sacrifice, and respect. Remember everything you've learned. Pain is inevitable, but it can be fuel. Discomfort builds character. Sacrifice is the currency of growth. The long game requires patience. All of these elements lead to one thing: self-respect. Every time you face pain instead of fleeing, every time you sacrifice short-term ease for long-term gain, every time you do the hard task first, every time you endure when others quit, you are proving to yourself that you are worthy of respect. External success is temporary. Self-respect is permanent. Real-life examples. Athletes. They endure grueling training, push past pain, and show up even when tired. The medal or trophy is nice, but what they cherish most is the knowledge: I became someone who perseveres. I'm someone I respect. Entrepreneurs. They fail repeatedly, face rejection, and sacrifice comfort. When they finally succeed, the external results are gratifying, but their real reward is the identity they built: resilient, disciplined, and self-reliant. Everyday people. The parent who sacrifices sleep and comfort for their children. The student who studies while friends party. The professional who masters their craft through repeated effort. Each earns self-respect in ways no one else can measure. Respect is earned through consistent, disciplined action aligned with your identity. Earn your own respect. That is true power. Everything you've learned in this audiobook leads to this one principle: become someone you respect. Stop seeking shortcuts. Stop chasing validation. Stop looking for external signs of success. Stop letting comfort dictate your life. Instead, choose discomfort. Do the hard work first. Sacrifice daily. Turn pain into fuel. Endure the long game. Build your identity through action. And through this, you become someone you can admire, someone you can trust, someone you are proud to be. This is the ultimate reward of discipline, sacrifice, and hard work. This is the pinnacle of personal power. This is a life of meaning. Earn your own respect. That is true power. Remember the anchor phrases that will guide your life beyond this audiobook. If it hurts, it's working. You will pay. Choose the price. Standards over mood. Standards over feelings. Win the morning, win the day, win your identity. Keep going when others stop. That's where the power is built. Earn your own respect. That is true power. Each phrase is a daily reminder of the person you are becoming. Repeat them. Internalize them. Act on them. When you live by these principles, you are no longer a follower of trends, a slave to comfort, or a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of your life, a builder of your identity, and a master of your own destiny. This is the final truth of transformation. External achievements are temporary. Only identity is permanent. Only self-respect lasts. Only the person you become matters in the end. So stop chasing validation. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop seeking shortcuts. Build your standards, embrace discomfort, pay the price, and endure the long game. Do the work. Face the pain. Sacrifice consistently. Follow the hard path. And at the end of it, you will look in the mirror and see someone you admire, someone you trust, someone you respect. That is the ultimate victory. Earn your own respect. That is true power.